Section, I'd like to walk through some of the capabilities and flexibility of QRS. I've got the batches loaded here, and I could see that if I wanted to collapse, I could see there's 7 days worth of drugs of abuse here. That's with the collapse button here. When I talk about the measure, or what Excel calls the value, final concentration with the target compound is the default, but there are other choices as well. There's area, height, retention time, signal to noise, symmetry, and full width at half height maximum. So I could pick, for example, a measure of area. In a similar case, we have used batch name. I could also pick acquisition date time, or if I were doing a time series and I'd filled in values for the sampling time or the sampling date time, which are sample-based attributes, I could use those to as a linear time to measure changes. Now, I previously demonstrated looking at the blank. There's several different sample type trends here, all the way from CalQC, CC to the matrix spikes. In addition, there's a sample group. So if I have grouped my samples using the sample group name or the compound group name, I could use this to group them together to see trends. In addition, there is the target and ISTD. These are compound-based attributes. So, for example, if I wanted to see the ISTD relationships across, I can see this area for compound type ISTD. Now, let's take a look at the flexibility in Excel. I can zero in on a particular compound here. If I just wanted to see, for example, the cocaine ISTD, I could zero in on that. Also, you can see the filtering for the sample type is sample or the compound type. Over here is the pivot table, which is the tool we're using in Excel, and the categorization of the value, which is area, and the what Excel calls the category and the series. All right, so let me cover several other variations. I showed you the manual integration. There's also manual integration quality warnings. In addition, there's the powerful outliers. We've got many outliers, and for the target compound method, there can be outliers set up to limit where you think the retention time should fall for that particular compound. Relative retention time, integration quality metric, chromatography metrics that go here, ISTD responses to measure across sample amount, which could be very useful in food safety. You want to trigger on sample amounts for pesticides that have gotten above. And when you expect blank concentrations to be below a certain level, you could measure that with an outlier. So all of these outliers are grouped here together. And for example, I'll hit retention time here. And you can see, well, this is basically the same batch every time, but it shows you the retention times flagged up here are high on methamphetamine. In addition, if you look at the ribbon, you can preview these charts, email them as a PDF, save them as a PDF, or save this as a read-only workbook. So let me just preview the charts here, and I can see the couple of charts that I created. Close that preview, and let's say that I wanted to save that as a PDF. Here's where I would save that. These are just Excel features that have been grouped here on the ribbon for you. I can publish that to a file. So that's a quick walkthrough of the ribbon with the target compound, and I hope you appreciate that flexibility in managing your lab results.